Morning everyone, this is an exciting video for us today because today we were going to start putting the rafters on the roof of the barn. Now if you haven't watched my videos in the past, please go back and watch them so that you can get caught up on all the progress we've made on this barn. Today we're going to be tearing into these 8x16 by 20 foot long Douglas fir beams. These are all old growth Douglas fir, the kind of stuff that you can't find anymore. So to get started, we're going to fire up the wood miser and we're going to cut all of our rafter sections down. I've got several of these large beams, and so we will have more than enough to do what we have to do here today. Let's get started. Recording video is a funny thing, you know. From what you just saw on the wood miser to this is 2 days later, and the reason for that is because we just had 2 massive days of rain here in southern Indiana. Now for those of you that don't really know anything about the region and where I live, the springtime is kind of like monsoon season, where we just get tons and tons and tons of rain all spring, and then in the summer it tends to dry out. Now these beams were cut 2 days ago, but then it rained so hard that I couldn't really get out here and get to working on it. And so what I want to show you is what I cut here. These are the 3-inch, these are a true 3-inch by 8-inch. These are nominal 2x8s, really they're about 1.5 inches by 8, so you have that. And then these are basically dimensional lumber, like 2x4s that I cut down from all of those beams. So all this is going to be the material that's used. The 2x4s are the purlins, that's what the steel is going to sit on top of. The 3x8s are the rafter sections, and then basically these nominal 2x8s, those are going to be like the fascia boards and stuff like that that are going to be on the front and also be used as the stringers to attach the 3x8s to. I hope I'm getting all the terminology there right. Like I've said before, I'm not a carpenter, I'm not really a barn builder. I'm a furniture maker by trade, and so I'm trying to do the best I can on this. So what I have to do, my goal today, is to get all of the 3x8s up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that or not because it's a lot of work, and I'm pretty much mostly working by myself on this project. Me and Samson Jr., which is the affectionate name we have for the forklift here. Now truth be told, I already got a couple of these rafter sections up before the rain started a couple days ago, so I'm just going to pick up the process where I left off, which basically means I am notching out the corners to accommodate the angle of the roof. And then after that, we're just going to nail those in there, and then we're going to add some blocking into them to sort of strengthen up the structure, add the purlins on top, and then that part of the roof is going to be done. So my hope is that I'm going to get all of this done in this video, and then kind of the last video that we're going to do in the barn build, hopefully, is going to be just putting the metal roof on. There's also one more thing I did, and I want to show you what that is. Technically this is 2 things, but sort of one. I'm trying to strengthen up the barn. And so we've put big lag bolts, 1/2-inch lag bolts in the bottoms of all of the posts to hold them in. We've tried to make sure that they're nice and straight up and down. And then the other thing that I've done, if we follow this post upward, so see I put some bracing in the corners. Now I've thought of many ways of doing this. Basic mortise and tenon joinery perhaps to pocket those in there. But that would have taken literally forever. And so I decided just to nail them in there for now. And if I want to get fancy later, I can change it. And since it rained a little, you can actually see the grain really nice in these, and you can see just how tight the growth rings are and just how straight that grain is. And that goes all the way down on those. Again, look at this one. Beautiful. Alright, so these stringers right here are in, and the next thing that I have to do is try to get these rafter beams in here. Now I did 2 before on the other end, but I'll tell you why I'm skipping to more of the middle part of the barn right now. It's because I need some help in straightening everything out from side to side. There's different ways to do that. I could add more bracing into the rafters and whatnot. And I might even do some of that, but generally what I have to do is get this one in right here, because here we go, get that one in right there, and that's going to help to sort of straighten everything out one way or the other a little bit and make sure that I'm maintaining a consistent width across the entire barn, and then it will be pretty easy to make sure everything's perfectly level. Right now I'm pretty close, but it's not perfect. And I'll tell you, one of the things I kind of struggle with coming from the furniture building side of things is that accepting the fact that it's okay to be a little bit off when you're doing this. You know, when you're dealing with a 20-foot span, to be off 1/8 of an inch is probably okay. But my mind has a hard time wrapping around that. And so I'm gonna keep going on this, trying to get this rafter in here. It is a real pain in the rear, gonna be honest with you. But I'm enjoying this process as it goes on, because we're really starting to see this take shape. Well, one thing that I've learned from this build is that I've never wanted a boom extension on my lift so much. And what I'm running into here is that every time I lift one of these up, I'm about 1.5 foot short of being able to get it up on the highest side. And so that's kind of frustrating. So I decided to sort of redneck engineer something. By the way, I don't think redneck is a derogatory term. I think I probably am one. And what I've done is just take the cutoffs from these posts that you see that are about 8 inches, and I just stacked them up 3 high. So it's about a 2-foot lift, and I think this is going to do the trick. But let's try to lift one up and see what happens. Well, I don't know, guys, you saw the camera fall over. Worst video ever. But it did work. Those blocks worked getting it up there, and so I'm pretty happy about that. I'm just going to keep going with this. This is very time consuming, very laborious. Best way to edit this, of course, is YouTube's fast motion. So I'm going to show you the progress that way, guys. Enjoy. Alright guys, so as you can see, I just got done putting all of the soffits on the ends of the rafters, and I did that on the forklift, as that you can see, and we had a good time doing that. You know, we're living free here, but we are doing it as safe as we can, and these are the tools that I have to work with. So, you know, you've heard me talk about sometimes the safety Nazis on my videos. Look guys, we're just out in the country and we're having a good time, and we're building a barn, and we're gonna be safe, we're gonna live through it. So for those of you watching that, just calm down. The next thing we have to do is we're going to put what's called the purlins on top of this, on the rafters. And basically all that is a 2x4. And those 2x4s get nailed on, and that's what accommodates the steel roof. Then we screw the steel roof into those purlins, and shazam, just like that, the barn starts to look really, really finished really fast. So let's go ahead and let's get it done. Well, we're coming to the close of another day. One video, many days. And we've got the purlins on, and we finished putting our rafters on in this video. As you can see behind me, it's all nice and in line, it's all looking great. The only thing I really did off camera that you didn't get to see any snippets of is right behind me you'll see this bracing right here. One there, and then one back here. And of course the reason for bracing is to try to keep things square. And what we noticed is that the barn was having a hard time keeping square, obviously, because the bracing wasn't in there yet. And so I kind of did a last ditch thing, and we came in with the forklift again and just sort of nudged the barn forward just a little bit, and that gave us what we needed to make everything square. So then what I did is I went in and nailed and then reinforced actually with timber screws. Part of this barn is traditional, mortise and tenon. Part of it is just quick and easy and modern. And now everything is staying nice and square and true. Now I got them on this side. Time is running out today, but I do have to put some on this side as well, just like I did on that, just parallel to that. And then I'll be very comfortable that this will stay square pretty much forever. Now there's one more thing I got to do, and I'm just going to show you what that is, and then we'll get that done quick in this video. So as you can see from looking at the front of this barn, it looks like something may be missing, and that's because I need to put some kind of an overhang on front of it. And basically that's just to try to keep the rain from coming straight into the barn and give it a couple feet off where the rain can drip down when it does come. It also makes sawmilling for me a lot easier, not having to deal with that. And so I put the runners up there so that I would have a nice good spot to nail and space everything out. That's the last thing that I have to build. Everything on this barn is pretty much made by 2x8s, 3x8s, timber type size beams. Because this is just going to be a 2-foot overhang, I'm just going to build it out of 2x4s and basically do the triangle on top of there. And then when I put the purlins, the other 2x4s on top of it, it will make it nice and strong and be more than enough to hold a little bit of steel for rain to fall off of. And occasionally a little bit of snow, of course. So let's go ahead and get that done, and then once that's all finished, we're going to be able to call this barn ready for steel. Look at this, guys. It's been a long time coming getting to this point, and it just reminds me of the blessings that it has taken in order for this to happen. All of this material, most all of this material, I was given at the beginning of this project. And all I can say is that's just the grace of God at work. I wanted to build this barn, but I didn't have the finances to build it, and I was just incredibly blessed to be given most of the materials for this. So yeah, I've had to put a lot of sweat equity into this to actually build it, but the materials didn't cost me hardly anything. So that's pretty amazing, isn't it, guys? If you have not seen any of my other videos, please go back and watch those in the barn build series or the sawmill or woodworking videos. And please go ahead and do what everyone asks you to do, which is to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, God bless you.